On our 10th wedding anniversary, my wife didn't raise a glass. She raised a post. Putting up with this useless guy for 10 years, she wrote. Smiling photo. Perfect lighting. Hundreds of likes within minutes. I read it twice. Not because I didn't understand it. Because I did. Completely. I looked up from my phone and saw her across the restaurant table, laughing at something her friend had just commented. She didn't notice me reading it. Or maybe she did. And didn't care. I didn't react. Didn't ask. Didn't make a scene. I finished my drink, stood up, paid the bill, and told her, "Happy anniversary." Then I left. That night I didn't go home. I sat in my car for almost an hour, staring at nothing, replaying 10 years of quiet compromises. Every joke I ignored. Every correction I accepted. Every time I let something slide because I thought keeping peace meant keeping the marriage. It didn't. It just delayed the truth. The next morning I filed for divorce. No warning. No discussion. No negotiation. By 11:20 a.m. she called. By noon she was crying. By 1 p.m. she said she didn't mean it. By 2 p.m. she said it was just a joke. And by 3:00 p.m. she realized something had changed. Because for the first time in 10 years, I didn't explain. I didn't defend. I didn't come back. And she had no idea. That post wasn't the reason I left. It was the confirmation. My name is Ryan Cole. I'm 35, and for most of my marriage I played a role I never agreed to. The quiet one. Not weak. Not incapable. Just accommodating. My wife, Jessica, was loud in all the ways people admire at first. Confident. Social. The kind of person who could turn a room into an audience without trying. She worked in digital marketing, lived online, and measured moments by how well they performed. I lived in reality. Steady job. Structured days. No need to prove anything to strangers. At the beginning she called that balance. Later, she called it boring. Then eventually, useless. It didn't happen all at once. It came in pieces. Little comments. Relax, it's just a joke. You take things too seriously. That's why people don't get you. Each one small enough to ignore. Together. Enough to redefine how I was seen. Not just by her. By everyone around her. Friends. Family. Even people who had never met me but knew me through her version. And the more I stayed quiet, the more that version became truth. Until that post. Public. Permanent. Unfiltered. That wasn't humor. That was identity. And the moment she hit post, she didn't just embarrass me. She finalized something she had been building for years. A version of me that I no longer recognized. By the time I filed for divorce, I already knew how she would respond. First, shock. Then, minimization. Then, emotion. It followed the same pattern as every argument we had ever had. At 11:20 a.m., my phone rang. Jessica. I let it ring. Then came the message. Are you serious right now? I didn't reply. At 11:47. This is insane. Over a post. Not over a post. That was the problem. By 12:15 she called again. This time I answered. Ryan, what are you doing? She demanded. You filed for divorce? Are you out of your mind? No, I said calmly. I'm clear. Pause. Then frustration. It was a joke, she said. People post things like that all the time. About their husbands? I asked. Silence. Then quickly, you know I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? I asked. Another pause. Longer this time. I was just being funny, she said. I nodded even though she couldn't see it. Then explain the joke, I said. Nothing. No answer. Because jokes require intention. And intention reveals truth. Ryan, don't do this, she said finally, voice softer now. You're blowing this out of proportion. No, I replied. I'm finally seeing it in proportion. That was the moment the tone changed. Because for the first time, I wasn't playing my role. I was stepping out of it. By 2 p.m. she had moved to the next phase. Emotion. Ryan, please, she said, voice breaking now. I didn't mean to hurt you. I listened. Not because it fixed anything. Because I wanted to hear if there was truth behind it. It was just a post, she continued. People exaggerate online. You know how it works. I did. That's why it mattered. You didn't exaggerate, I said. You revealed. Silence. Then sharper, defensive now. So now I'm the bad person? For one mistake. One mistake. I almost smiled. No, I replied. Not for one. That landed. Because we both knew it wasn't one. It was years. Years of small dismissals stacked so neatly they became normal. What do you want me to say? She asked. The truth, I said. Another pause. Then she tried something different. I love you, she said quickly. That one used to work. Not today. That's not what you showed, I replied. Frustration returned. So what? 10 years means nothing now. I leaned back in my chair. No, I said. It means everything. Pause. Then calmly. It showed me exactly what I was living in. That was the difference. She was trying to fix a moment. I was responding to a pattern. And patterns don't disappear because someone regrets being seen. By evening, she deleted the post. Not quietly. Publicly. Replaced it with another. Some people don't understand humor. Sad how quickly things get twisted. I saw it. Didn't react. Because that wasn't an apology. That was repositioning. At 7:12 p.m., my sister sent me a screenshot. Is she serious? She wrote. I didn't answer. Because now it wasn't just about me. It was about control of the narrative. And Jessica was trying to rewrite it in real time. At 8:03, she called again. This time calmer. More careful. Right. I took it down, she said. Can we just talk like adults? We are, I replied. No, you're shutting down, she said. You're not even trying to fix this. Fix. That word again. Jessica, I said quietly, you don't fix something you never valued. Silence. Then softer. I do value you. I didn't respond. Because value isn't claimed. It's shown. I was embarrassed, she admitted suddenly. That caught my attention. Embarrassed of what? I asked. Pause. Then. Of how different we are, she said. There it was. Not a joke. Not a mistake. A belief. And beliefs don't disappear because they get exposed. They just become quieter. Unless you confront them. And I had no intention of living in something she was ashamed of. After that call, something changed. Not in her. In me. For 10 years I had been adjusting. Softening. Explaining. Trying to fit into a version of myself that made her more comfortable. That night, I stopped. The next morning she didn't call. She texted. Short. Careful. I understand why you're hurt. I read it. Didn't reply. An hour later. I shouldn't have said that. Then. I handled it wrong. No excuses. No jokes. No deflection. That was new. At 11:30 she called again. I answered. Ryan, she said quieter now, I'm not trying to defend it anymore. That got my attention. I know I crossed a line, she continued. Not just with that post, but before that too. Pause. Then carefully. I just didn't realize how much it was affecting you. That sentence mattered. Because it wasn't denial. It was awareness. I know, I said. And I meant it. That was the problem. She didn't see it. Not because it was hidden. Because I made it easy not to notice. You made everything smooth, she added. I didn't have to think about it. Exactly. That's how invisibility works. I thought we were fine, she said. We were functional, I replied. Not the same thing. And for the first time, she didn't argue. She listened. She didn't try to convince me after that. No long messages. No emotional pressure. Just space. That surprised me more than anything else. Because for the first time in 10 years, she wasn't trying to control how things looked. She was sitting with how they felt. 3 days passed. Then 5. On the 6th day I called her. She answered quietly. Hey, she said. No energy. No performance. Just real. I got your messages, I said. Pause. I didn't expect you to call, she replied. I know. Silence settled between us. Not awkward. Not tense. Just different. Then she said something I hadn't heard from her before. I didn't just regret the post, she said. I regret how I made you feel long before that. That mattered. Not because it fixed anything. Because it acknowledged the pattern. I thought being louder made me right, she continued. I didn't realize it was just making you smaller. I closed my eyes for a moment. Because that was the truth. I'm not asking you to forget it, she added quickly. I just don't want to be that person anymore. Another pause. Then she asked carefully. So what happens now? I looked out the window. 10 years. One post. Years of silence behind it. If anything continues, I said calm and clear, it won't look like before. I know, she replied immediately. No hesitation. That was new. And for the first time, she wasn't asking for things back. She was asking for a chance to change. I didn't go back right away. Not because I didn't care. Because I needed to see if what she said would hold without me there. A week passed. No pressure. No posts. No indirect messages. Just quiet consistency. She stopped performing her life online. That alone told me more than any apology. On the 9th day I went back. Same house. Same driveway. But this time, no illusion. I walked in. Jessica was sitting at the table. No phone in her hand. No audience. Just her. "You came back," she said softly. "I did." Pause. Then she stood. Not rushing. Not reaching. Just present. "I meant what I said," she said. "Not about the post, about everything after." I nodded. Because I could see it. Not perfectly. But honestly. I looked around the house. Everything was the same. But now, nothing was invisible. "That's not the problem," I said. She frowned slightly. "What is?" I met her eyes. "You didn't just joke about me," I said. "You believed it." A moment passed. Then she nodded. "I did," she admitted. No defense. No excuse. Just truth. That mattered. Because change doesn't start with regret. It starts with recognition. And for the first time in 10 years, she saw me. Not as background. Not as support. But as a person. And this time, if anything continued, it would be built on that. Not illusion.